My story is not unlike the story of so many of our kids. My father had a problem with alcohol. He left for work and never came back. My mother wasn't really prepared. When she found herself alone with 4 children, she ended up being a tortilla maker. She didn't make enough money to pay for someone to take care of us. So at the time, she felt perhaps I was old enough to stay home with my siblings. I was 8 years old. Unfortunately, one of those days that I was taking care of my siblings, my brother Juan was sitting on the ledge and throwing marbles into the water tank. And in one of those times, he fell into it. I could see over the tank and I could see my brother drowning. I remember just feeling this sense of responsibility and thinking that my brother was gonna drown and it was gonna be my fault. One of the men from the town came home early from work and he saw the commotion. He knew immediately what was going on. He ran, jumped into the tank and pulled my brother out. Thank God my brother survived. But it was really that situation that caused my mother to realize that we would be a lot safer in an orphanage. So she made that difficult decision. So my sister and I were here and my brothers had to go to a different orphanage for a year until room opened up for them to move to this orphanage. Being without our mom, it was sad, but it was also like a release, like something that I didn't have to be the one responsible for my siblings anymore. I was able to be a child again. It was a thriving place, 100 kids running around playing. But years after leaving the orphanage as a teenager, I came back with that desire to help, the desire to help the children the way I was helped. At that time, the place was a shadow of the place that it was. The orphanage had only about 30 kids and they could barely feed the kids that they had. And so I remember asking the director, what can I do to help? And what he said was, you can help us bring sponsors. The place looked more like an institution before with all the white buildings. Now everything's been redone, repainted. I started to learn that people were waiting for something to do, a place where they could make a difference. And what I was giving them was the gift of purpose. It is amazing to see 30 years later what is today Corazón de Vida, helping thousands of children. We have built an amazing community of caring and compassionate individuals that help support the children the way I was supported. Over those last 30 years, as our community of support grew, we were able to expand to other orphanages. Today, we support 10 orphanages that provide a loving home for over 500 children. We started to look at, what was going to make the biggest difference. We always knew education was key. We wanted to make sure that the children were going to have a better life and never have to bring their children to an orphanage. So we started our continuing education program, and we have kids that are in careers such as psychology, education, law, business. We even have 2 medical doctors. To see the exponential value of that, a future where they're going to be the change makers. They're going to be the ones changing the laws in Mexico. They're going to be the ones breaking that cycle of poverty, breaking that cycle of abandonment. I want for Corazón de Vida to live on. This is not my legacy. This is not Hilda. This is our legacy. This is what we can provide for the kids, for Baja, for the country. A beacon of hope for every child in need.